Jazzcast Pros.
Welcome to the Grace and Grind podcast. This is the space where power meets purpose. And this podcast is for my fellow powerhouses, a woman who has perfected the art of appearing fine, but silently suffering and privately unraveling on the inside. This may be due to shame, grief, rejection, or even buried trauma. Well, today that's over. I am Dr. Pamela Brown-Grinion, CEO of Totally Unique Educational Consultants. I would like to be your new executive coach. I have helped thousands of women just like you heal from the inside out and walk in their authenticity. We're talking about after you vanquish the ghost in the nursery, okay? What is next? First, you have to reclaim your emotional space, okay? When the ghost is no longer directing your emotions, you finally reclaim the freedom to feel, think, and choose from a place of healing. Number two, you rebuild your identity. With the ghost voice silenced, your authentic identity begins to rise, stronger, clearer, and aligned with who you are truly becoming in your transformation. All right. Number three, you reconstruct emotional patterns. You learn to respond rather than react. And you guys know what that means, right? You got a small, medium, or larger. What is this, right? You got to go inward and understand, feel what's happening in your body and understand why. All right. And number four, align your behaviors with your becoming. Identity isn't just who you say you are. It's who you show up as every day. That's a huge one for me because I pride myself in showing up authentically as my totally unique self. What you see is what you get. You like it or love it. It's on you because I'm doing the best I can with what I have, right? And I know it's extraordinary. I have to believe that about me, right? I know it's fabulous. That's just what I've grown into. You would never hear me say that when I was younger. I would never consider myself extraordinary and fabulous, but baby, let me tell you something. I am extraordinary and I am fabulous, and I'm not waiting until tomorrow to be extraordinary. I'm extraordinary today. Okay? I'm extraordinary today. What's everything on the wall? Hard to read. Oh, these are all of my degrees and certifications and licenses that I have acquired through my years of lifetime education. So this is my me wall. Whenever I feel like I can't do something or I get discouraged, I recall my past victories, which are these, and I look at them and say, okay, if I did that, I can do this. And I encourage everybody to have a me wall. You see me? Okay. I see you too. I must give the disclaimer. I am Dr. Pamela, but I am not a mental health professional. I am someone that understands trauma because I've lived trauma. And because I understand it, I took courses in trauma-informed care, and now I can train people on trauma. So I am a trauma practitioner. Oh, and I'm also a certified leadership coach, executive leadership coach. So I've combined my leadership, my etiquette, and my trauma under one umbrella, and I call it emotional etiquette. And so that's what I teach people, how to change their behavioral responses from their traumatic experiences. So we're going to jump right into number 5. After we've vanquished the ghost in the nursery, what should we be doing next? You should be creating a new legacy. Okay. Without the ghost directing your future, you become the architect of a new emotional lineage. You become the architect. So now we've traced our trauma genealogy. We know why we are the way we are, right? We've gone all the way back to we've gone all the way back to our birth stories. When we first started talking about ghosts in the nursery, we went all the way back to our birth story. What is your birth story? How you were born, where you were born, why you were born. Was it planned? Was it unplanned? How was the attachment? How was, all of those things. We talked about that. Now we're talking about your lineage. Moving forward, your new lineage with your transformation. You create your own new legacy. without you operating with your familiar past full of trauma that is directing and leading you, without the little girl and the little boy inside of you directing, showing up and behaving for you instead of the adult you taking control, because the unhealed little girl or unhealed little boy, it has such a strong presence. Now that we've put them to bed, right? It's nighty night bedtime for them, right? Now it's you. You have a new lineage. And now you're moving forward without that negative emotional loop. We're not doing that anymore. Now, here is your opportunity to create a new lineage for you, where you become the architect of what it looks like moving forward in your transformational stages. What does it look like? Your new concept is the story that you tell yourself who you are. You tell yourself who you are, not your ghost. Your ghost is no longer dictating who you are. Your internal dialogue is not about fear. It's not about pain. It's not about self-defeat. It's not about your unforgiveness. It's not about your fear. It's not about you're not feeling safe. It's not about that anymore. We're creating a new lineage moving forward. Your through lines at the top, it may be there, but now we're moving forward in a different direction. Okay, we're moving forward in a different direction emotionally. You've always been the architect, but you didn't understand that you had the power to control, right? Now that you understand that you have the power to control how these things show up in your life, how much power you give them, how you respond to them, and how they impact you. Now that you understand that you have the power to control, now you can create your new lineage. You get to create that. And now you get to rewrite the story. This is a new chapter. Yay, you. This is a new chapter that you get to write. And it's not based on your ghost anymore. It's based on the healed you. I'm so happy for you guys. And I'm so proud of you for doing the work. You have to break generational patterns that once shaped your family's emotional story. I told you guys I'm going to talk about epigenetics. I'm going to talk about epigenetics. You break generational patterns that once shaped your family's emotional story. That goes all the way back to tracing your trauma genealogy and who put their trauma in you. Who experienced things you didn't experience, right? But because they experienced things, they transferred those things into you. They said things, they did things based on their trauma and the symptoms from their trauma, right? They experienced things, their own trauma. They had symptoms from their trauma and they lived out those symptoms. And then they lived out those symptoms while they were parenting you, teaching you, all the things, right? How did you get that way? Are you living out the wounds of someone else? Or are you living out the wisdom that you understand now based on all the lessons that we've gone through, right? Are you experiencing vicarious trauma, vicarious symptoms from trauma because it came from somewhere else? What I'm saying is you have to break those generational patterns. I'm telling you, that was some inward work that was difficult because you live based on what your mother, what your grandmother, what the adults in your life, what they've imparted in you. You know, those become the things that you start to say. It's the same thing with when you develop your own understanding of who God is in your life, and you understand that this is not my grandmother's God. This is not my mother's God. Now this is my God, because I understand based on my relationship with him and the things that he's done for me that increased my faith. Yes, it's all the same God, but now he's my God, right? Once I understood that I don't have to do the things that my grandmother and my mother said, I broke free from that. So for example, we used to have tarrying services where you kneeled, and you didn't have a cushion. Baby, if you were on hardwood floors, you were on hardwood floors. Good morning, Mars. Mars understands. Donna understands. And Ruth understands. We had tarrying services. This is what was taught generationally. And we had to tarry for the Holy Ghost, the evidence of the Holy Ghost, speaking in tongues, right? You had to tarry until you got it. And you had to call on Jesus' name until you got it. And you will be down there for hours. I mean, I tarried for y'all. As a kid, it's like, if you got to do all this, look here, I'll do without this gift. Okay. I don't want this gift because my knees hurting. Okay. When I learned that I did not have to burn my knees up and that I could speak as the Holy Ghost gave utterance, right? That's when I had the epiphany that, okay, this is my God. This is not it's the same God. But I'm breaking that generational thing because I understand. And when you know better, you do better. So what I'm saying is you have to do the same thing with your generational trauma. You have to understand if it does not belong to you, you got to let it go. But and however, you still have to pray to break it. The buck can stop with you, right? But there are so many people on your line of your genealogy that may not be breaking it, right? There are so many people. You have cousins, you have sisters, you all born in the same cohort, right? So you may be breaking the generational curses and your through line, but what about the generational curses and the other through lines? And that's why when I'm praying to break generational curses, I break them all the way back to Adam and Eve, because that's everybody's through line, right? It's the same thing with your ghost. You gotta break the patterns of the ghost and your lineage and your through lines, okay? And your through lines. So you have to break those generational patterns that once shaped your family's story. You guys following me? All right. You model healthy emotional behavior for those who look up to you. So it's not just do as I say, right? I always tell Cassidy, do you see me do that? Cassidy, do you hear me speaking like that? When she does her little stuff she learns at school and wherever she's, I don't got, and I say, Cassidy, do you hear me speaking like that? No, Glamour. I say it right. I don't have. And I say, why can't you say it right the first time? Right? But they're going to try it. People are going to try it. You have to model the behavior for those that are looking up to you, so that they know that you're not just a person that says, do as I say, not as I do, right? No, you have to model the behavior, right? You have to be the change that you want to see so that other people can see it and embody it also. That's just what it is, right? And I think about all of the ladies that I saw, that I watched, and that I modeled, like my godmother, Erlina, right? She had a walk, baby. When she walked in, her presence was like, oh, I'm here. Right, Donna? She had a presence that when she walked in any room, her confidence was just through the roof. And I would look at her and be like, how does she do that? The men would be like, who is that? I'm talking about at church. Okay. She just embodied a presence, right? I have two godmothers, Erlina and Dolores. Okay. Just so there's no confusion. And Erlina was the first female the first woman that I saw that had this grace about her that I admired. And so much so that I just watched her. I just watched her. And I got to walk now, honey. Oh, you better believe it. I got to walk. I can show you how to walk one day. That's a Zoom class. Okay. But yeah, it's a confidence, but the confidence didn't come from you just walk sashing to the room. The confidence for me became when I became healed on the inside. It's authentic, right? Before I could walk into a room and people would look because I'm dressed to the nines. Donna said, yes, she did. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, she will put them heels on and baby, I can't, you have to see it. Well, look at me next time you see me, watch me. Okay. Just look at your girl. But because I've already developed my outward self, I know what to do. I know how to do it and I do it, right? But because my inward self didn't match my outward self, I couldn't pull it off. I couldn't hold the shine. Okay. Once I became healed and I changed my behavioral responses to my emotional symptoms that came from my traumatic experiences, then I was able to shine. And I model that. So when I'm going out and I'm teaching and I'm coaching, so when I walk into the room, I want them to see that there is hope in the future. I'm intentional about that. I want to be the person that they look at and say, I want to be like that. But more importantly, I want them to be able to say, if she did it, I can do it because she came from where I came from. And I just let them know that you have to do the hard work. I didn't just throw some clothes on and walk in here. Like I had to do the hard work. Okay. So I am embodying and I'm showing up as the person that I want people to see, number one, but I'm saying you should aspire. You should aspire to be healed on the inside. I can help you do the stuff on the outside. That's the easy part. I'm not worried about that. We'll get to the finishing touches. We'll get to that. But it's that inner work, right? I want to do the inner work first. All right. So you model the healthy emotional behavior for those who look up to you. That is key. You build relationships based on truth, trust, and emotional integrity. Let me tell you what I can't stand. I can't stand a duplicitous person. What is a duplicitous person? A person that's going to say this over here, talking out both sides of their face. A person that's talking out, as we used to say, talking out of both sides of your neck. Two-faced. Notice I didn't say two-faced it because that's not a word. So let's change our vocabulary lexicon and let's get it right. Two-faced, not two-faced it. I can't stand a duplicitous person. And I can't stand a person that will stand in front of people with their representative and then be somebody else with me. Right in front of these people, I'm going to be yourself. Be yourself. You guys have gotten all the different sides of me because that's who I am. I'm a little funny. I'm a little quirky. I'm a little, sassy. I'm very polished. I'm a little bit bougie, just a little bit, but don't get it twisted now. I still got the hood in me. Okay. I'm still, listen, ain't gonna do nothing, but it's still in there. It's still in there. So listen, I'm delivered from some things, but I'm not delivered from everything, right? But I'm delivered from a lot of things. I'm not delivered from everything. Okay. Keep that in mind next time you try to be duplicitous with me. No, I'm serious though. You have to be in relation, give people your authentic self. And let me tell you why that's important. Let me do a gift, for example. I'm in a relationship with someone and they give you a gift. You don't like the gift, but you don't want to hurt their feelings. And so next year you get a gift that's similar. Why? Because you're not showing up in the relationship with truth. You're saying thank you. Oh my God. Oh, I love it so much. Oh my God. And then you call your best friend and be like, girl, guess what this just gave me? He gave me a toaster for Christmas. This is a real situation. Okay. This is not for play. Oh, thank you so much. We needed a new toaster. Yes. But I should have said, this is the family's gift. So I'm waiting on, okay, this is for the family, right? This should have had family on it, right? Not Pam. Said, I unwrapped a toaster for Christmas, right? A toaster because we needed a toaster. Oh my goodness. This was my first husband, y'all. My first husband. Just give me the money, and it's only one person that can really shop for me. Y'all know who that is. Really? Y'all know, I mean, I never have to say I don't like that. Never have to say I don't like it. It's always right. Now, Marseille, you coming along? My cousin Marseille, he's coming along. We've been window shopping for some things the past few days, and he found me some shoes, and I did buy them. So, yes, right. But if you don't like something, say you don't like it. Also, if someone asks you, if you're in a relationship with someone, I don't care if it's your friend, your sister, your mama, your husband, your boo, whatever, your girlfriend, whatever, your partner, whatever. If they ask you a question, give them the real answer. Don't floss over it and say, or gloss over it and say, because you don't want to hurt feelings. No, you can tell the truth and you can be honest. It's your delivery, right? Well, this happened. It really made me feel uncomfortable when you did that, right? And please don't do that again, right? Or when you said that, that really hurt my feelings. If you don't say that, guess what? You're probably going to get your feelings hurt again. Mar said, I'm learning. Listen, I love it. We've been having a good time together. All right. So be authentic in your relationships when you're creating your new legacy, because if people are surrounding you and this is the circle that you're creating, if you can't be honest with those people, then they probably should not be a part of your inner circle. If you can't be honest with the people in your circle, they probably shouldn't be in your inner circle. But regardless of who it is, be honest, okay? Tell the truth. And when you're operating, make sure that you're operating with emotional integrity. That means you're doing the right thing for them and for you. When nobody's watching, you're making the right decisions because they're the right decisions to make. My Nana used to tell me that sometimes you have to do things for other people's sake. And then there are times when you can't do something for other people's sake. You can't do it, right? So something you have to do for other people's sake, I can be dog dead tired, right? But I know I have to show up for somebody because it's time to show up. Then I got to show up. There are sometimes when I can't show up, but I let my money show up in my stead because if I have too many things, then I can't show up, right? But I still let my money show up. I'm showing up. But sometimes your presence is required, right? Sometimes you just gotta go. Now, some things that you can't do for other people's sake, if I have someone in my circle and they are doing something or saying something that is contrary to personal growth and development, I can't listen to that, but for so long. I gotta tell you the truth, right? I can't go along with it if it's not kosher. And that's an example of something you can't do for other people's sake. I'm not going to let you do anything to harm yourself. I'm not going to let you do anything that is, if you're on a negative emotional loop, I'm going to help you get off of that. I'm going to help you get off of that. And if you're on it, don't try to pull me in on it because I'm not coming. Okay. And I'm going to let you know that I can't because I'm protecting my peace. That's for my sake. Okay. That's emotional integrity for me. But for other people, sometimes you have to help people protect themselves because they don't know how to. Yeah. For other people's sake. Okay. So build your relationships on trust, truth, and emotional integrity. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I know sometimes we want to do the right thing because we think it's the right thing for us, but it may not be the right thing for somebody else. And sometimes you have that situation. Well, it's the lesser of two evils and I got to pick something. As long as you're moving with integrity, move with integrity, make decisions based on integrity. Hey, Brady, thank you for joining, cousin. Move with integrity. Okay. Operate with integrity. Be truthful. It may hurt someone's feelings to be truthful, but I promise you being truthful is best. If you start a relationship on lies, sooner or later it's going to come out. And then you can't build a foundation based on trust if people are lying in the relationship. When you are lying in relationships, that's your representative showing up. That means you're not comfortable with you. You can't build a relationship that is solid if it's not built on truth and trust, if it's not built with emotional integrity. And furthermore, you can't have a good relationship with yourself if the relationship with yourself is not built on truth, trust, and emotional integrity. What do you mean by that, Dr. Pam? If you look at yourself inwardly and you know you have ghosts that have been haunting you for years, and you tell yourself that I'm good, I'm 59 years old, I'm good, that happened a long time ago, and you know you're not good, that's not a relationship with yourself built on truth, trust, or emotional integrity. If you know you are not healed, and you know that the little girl or the little boy still rises up in you without your permission and cuts a fool, and you don't acknowledge it, and you say that's just the way I am. I've always been like this. God ain't through with me yet. That is you not being authentic with you. That's not trust. That's not truth. And that's not emotional integrity. So get it together. Here are your reflective questions. Facebook, you ready? Mars, you ready on Facebook for the questions? Number 1, what generational pattern am I breaking? Ask yourself that. Not am I going to break? I wrote this question like this with intentionality. Okay. What generational pattern am I breaking? Intentionally, not what am I going to do? We've been working on this, guys, for a week. What are you doing? What generational patterns are you breaking? What generational curses are you breaking? All the way back to Adam and Eve. We're not playing with this thing. And this is not a question, Mars. This is a build on that I'm saying. You're building on to, you're modeling what you want people to see, the younger people in the family, the people close to you. All right. So the question is, what generational pattern am I breaking? Number 2, what legacy of emotional health do I want to leave behind? That means I'm teaching the younger people in the family, I'm teaching them emotional etiquette. So what legacy of emotional health do I want to leave behind? What do I want people to remember about me? Right? What do I want people to remember about me and my emotional health? Like, I want people to remember that Dr. Pam was on top of her game with helping people. And that was her crusade to help people change their behavioral responses to trauma and to become emotionally healthy. I want you guys to remember that about me, not just that she's the queen of etiquette. I want you to, she helped me. Like, she really helped me. All right. Question number 3. How does my healing impact those around me? Are people around you being healed? Do people understand that you're on a healing journey? Have you invited anyone on this healing journey with you? Have you shared? Have you told people that I'm healing? It's helping me. I'm changing my behavioral responses to my emotional symptoms. I'm changing. Come on over. The table is spread, honey. Dine sufficiently. Are you inviting people to the table? All right. Now, that was question 3. Guys, I gotta go. Renee said my entire house. That's what I'm talking about, Renee. We have to heal as a family. Okay, we gotta pray as a family. We gotta change as a family. That way, when I change my behavioral responses, it don't look foreign to you. Okay, because you understand what's going on. Now, guys, it's 9:00. I gotta jump on my other class. You know what I'm gonna say. I love you guys with my whole heart. I love you. I do. All right, folks, that's all we have time for. I thank you so much for joining the Grace and Grind podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Pamela Brown Grinion. And until next time, And always remember to create your totally unique day on purpose.